guys, welcome to TCG Universe's Final Fantasy podcast. We're doing it online like we used to way when COVID first started. We have Travis here with us. Say hi, Travis.
Ohio.
We have Zeth here with us. What's up, Zeth?
What's up, homies? Zeth's back at it again with all y'all.
And we got our glorious, lovely, not leader, Byron.
Hey.
Dude.
He's the teddy bear mascot.
We're the cereal, and he's the face of it.
Yeah.
So man, I don't have the sheet in front of me to go through and thank all of our supporters. We're finally back for the new year. I don't know if this is the first recorded podcast, but it might be. And if it is, hey, welcome back, guys. Great to see you.
Yep.
I could rapid fire off the main sponsors, which I believe is Dex Protection, Ink Gaming, and Cards Custom Build. If I'm correct, if I'm not, they can fix that in post. We're gonna jump straight in to our first topic. So we just had Reunion 3, my first reunion event. What?
R3 Fenrir Summit. It was a wild experience.
It was my first reunion. And Zeth, is it your second or the third one?
And I went there last year.
Yeah. So me and Zeth are gonna circle jerk for a bit and have Byron and Travis chime in as we give a detailed experience of our time.
We're here to look pretty.
Such. So,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So Noah, was your first experience? What were your thoughts? And then I'll have my thoughts. Much the more seasoned.
Yeah, the more seasoned guy. So I thought that. So for me personally, I thought everything went well. I thought it was set up nice. There seemed to be no complications, no repairings or anything like that. Everything went really smooth. In terms of my matches personally, I went 3-3, so I broke even. I'm assuming at this point with every major tournament I go to, that's my curse, is that I break even. It seems to be a trend. I played Turks, which we updated for the
that was Earthlight
package. Yeah, it's Earth Lightning Turks, which did better than I expected considering I broke even with it.
Well, I mean, it's 7. Like, it's really hard to screw up Category 7.
It is, because there's so much for it, but like, there was just a lot of stuff out there that could potentially just screw me over if I didn't see things on time. My first game.
What was the main play that led to your biggest loss?
Like on my part?
No, from like your opponent.
Yeah. Like what messed you up the most?
I can't just put it down to one thing. It's Fire's ping effect, honestly.
Yeah.
That's what messed me up the most.
Or like what? Like where are you talking about? Fire?
Samurai Cyan is really what messed me up the most. Just because I can build big dudes doesn't mean they can't take Cyan with 2 other dudes and swing and clear my board.
Can confirm Samurais can 10k your board off of 4 characters.
Gross.
It hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts. I was like, ooh, I can buff my Tifa up to a 12, and they'll be like, I'll swing for 12, and I'm like, okay, whatever. Like 12 is probably the highest I can get Tifa in my deck with Titan plus Sarah because she's already a 9k, and after that I'd have to double Titan for like 14. That's not gonna work.
Right.
Gross.
So my first game I played against Dragoons. Beforehand, I played against Shane's Dragoons, and Shane ended up in top 8 into top 4, I believe.
Yeah, he got 4th place.
So I was expecting 9 Freyas to come at my face and clear my board because I couldn't get past that. Instead, it was just a bunch of Dragoons, so I didn't have to worry about Freya clearing my board.
Yeah, that guy, I know that guy.
Oh, yeah,
he played more of a tempo Dragoons list. He didn't rely on Freya.
Yeah. He did really well. Our first game went to time all the way to turn 3 after time was called. And I won with the biggest meme in my fucking deck, and I was so ecstatic.
Oh, are you talking about the Reno that pings the entire board?
We did the Druid special, bro. So what happened was he had misplayed the turn before and swung with a basic Dragoon, and I just blocked it with like my 12k Reno. I was like, sure, whatever. I'm sitting at like 5 damage, and he was at 6. No, he was at 3 or 4. And I had the full board. I had all my Turks out. I had Tifa out. I had Barret out, and I was just like, I need to clutch in the last pieces of damage here. So what we did was after we blocked that, he swung with a few things. I took another hit. I think I was at like 4. I took 2 more hits because it put me to 6. Like I was dead. And
You
he
were at
passed. Yeah, he swung with his 2 biggest dragoons, the ones that gain 2k for each dragoon on the field, and he left Aranea up and a bunch of 7k dragoons, and he had like yeah. So I was like, sure. All I need to see is the 1 Rude left in my deck because that was my only out left, and like enough for what equivalates to like 9 CP total, 7 CP for him, and then a Rude. So the final swing, he hit a Barret, and I top 4 with Barret and found a Rude and picked it up. I was like, oh boy, we're going. So it goes to my turn, and I drew my 2 cards, so I had the proper amount. I paid that shit out, and I got rid of his board, and I had my Tifa to give my dudes that mattered the bump, and we just swung with everything. Like, I
Dang.
was I was scared because like the only other thing I could do would be to play Sephiroth, but I couldn't play Sephiroth because he was in my break zone and my Erits were in my break zone as well after I looped them like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah,
with my lane.
Noah was gassed, and he
I was
literally
out.
the one out, and he
All
got
right.
it.
All right, no, so you know what we have to call Rude special now, right?
What?
We have to call it Darude Sandstorm.
Dude, I never thought I would
Sleeps up there
actively use that to
board.
like win me the game, and it got me there. Like it got me through game 1, and then game 2 I played against one of the locals, Kyle, and he was playing. This kind of sucked a bit, but he was playing Mono Lightning Odin, which just straight breaks everything.
Well, no. He wasn't even really playing Mono Lightning Odin. He was playing a really, balls to the wall Mono Lightning aggro with an Odin sub theme.
Yeah, I guess it's fair. Yeah, there was a lot of breaks in his deck, and there wasn't anything that pings hard enough. So it was real funny when
When you
Yeah.
played Tifa and he couldn't do anything about
I
it.
sat there, crafted my hand, and let him hit me to damage 5 because I couldn't go to damage 3 exact. And I
Yep.
went, cool. Tifa,
Then you automatically won the
Oh,
game because Tifa's a
rude.
cool card.
Reno. And I sat there and I was like, you can't break my shit. So he tried to kill Tifa off of Alcid and Freya, and I went, hey, remember that Aerith I played 2 turns ago? I'm gonna dull her and pitch this card out my hand so my Tifa can't be broken. Boop. We did.
Got him.
Nuts.
So he
It
did
was
the
a blowout.
damage, but she couldn't be broken. I was like,
Yeah.
and
Gross.
then my 3rd game, which was the final game I won, I played against a fire deck that was like Fire Bahamut, I want to say something similar to that.
Was Steven the one playing it?
Yeah.
It was Monofire Frida with a Bahamut sub engine.
Okay, yeah, Monofire Freda. So I sat there taking damage, right? And I was like, I think the only way I win against Monofire is to be the biggest cheese and just chaos a Vincent. So that's what we did. We crafted the hand, we played a Vincent, we kept him safe with Aerith, and then we chaos 3 times.
Yeah,
He had
that
5
is
on
certainly a
board.
win con.
My next turn came out. I swung, cleared his 2 forwards, one of his backups, which was Vermilion Bird Lassie, and it took him 2 turns to get rid of that Vincent. And at that point, I had 3 more dudes to swing with.
Yep, that is certainly a win con, and
Monster.
that's why I love 3 CP Vincent. He's so good at doing that.
It did its job. So after that, I played Samurais. Cyan beat me to a pulp. I played it again in casuals, and I think I won that against Kevin Good just for like the casual game. After that game, I played Samurais again. Cyan beat me to a pulp. And then after that, we played Marsh Ritz. It was Earth, Wind, Fire, Marsh Ritz, and every time the guy had the chance to, for some reason, he had an Amaterasu in hand to stop everything I could do. So I just had to sit there and be like, well,
Yep.
but
We talked
I didn't go out without a fight because he built
Remember
a board of 3Ks.
activates 3 backups. Funny how that works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he built a board of 3Ks, right? And because the spicy tech we put in my deck, thanks Zeth, was Exodus, and he had Marsh Reeds, a Y'shtola, and like some other 3K I can't remember, or 3 drop I can't remember. And I was like, I had Tifa and Cloud on the field, so I was just like, I'm just gonna pay for and play this Exodus and name the number 3. If you name the number 5, you lose your marsh and your board's gone, and I get to keep my cloud and do fun shenanigan shit. So we had to kill the cloud. So we did that. He didn't swing with it because Tifa's a 9K. Sat there with like a Titan in hand after the next turn, and he played a Y'shtola and then went to play Zidane. And on the stack of Zidane about to rip a card out of my hand, I tightened his Y'shtola away and sat there like, I'm gonna live another turn. I still died, but like I wasn't going out easy.
Yeah, that's funny.
And you seem to play all the new meta decks that are gonna be top tier.
So here's the fun thing, Byron, is that at Reunion, it was actually a really diverse meta. We saw no Turbo X Death. There was
really?
I
yes.
packed Fenrir's in my deck. I packed the 5 and the 2.
Here one. Sorry, Noah, you were saying something.
No, I just packed the 2 cost Fenrir and the 5 cost Fenrir just in case, and there never was one. But like the 5 cost Fenrir still killed Tyros. Not gonna complain.
Yeah. But yeah, so like at the event, like I mean, all right. So at the event, okay, there was like 8 samurais out of 33 players. So about 20% of the meta was samurais. That didn't surprise me. Samurais is the mid-range deck of Opus 12. Because it has sweepers, it can go fast, it has haste outlets, it has longevity through Terra, it has interaction through summons, it has probably the most killer search lineup for Mono Fire, right? And if you go on the Magisa game plan, the level of interaction you have with your opponent's stuff, with your EX triggers, targeting your own Magisa, and then grabbing Forza or Alphanod to search the character you need to actually get ahead on the game plan, is probably one of the the de facto things of what I crave in a mid-range deck, right? So there was a lot of samurais. There was one Marsh Reeds deck. There was one Storm deck. There were 2 Dragoon decks. There was 2 Mono Lightning decks, dude. And they were played by some of the best Mono Lightning pilots that I've seen in the United States. Like, these people were good. And, like, they came out of Minnesota. Like, just randomly out of Minnesota. What were some of the other ones? There was a Mono Wind X Death deck, which it wasn't Turbo X Death. It was Yuna Young Team did a deck tech on it. It was a thing. There was 3 color bards. There was water lightning aggro, and then there was also mono wind bards, which actually carried a couple of wins just because again it was so off the grain, no one was ready for it. So overall, like all things considered, like deck build wise, it was very diverse. Now, was it a lot? Oh yeah, there was also Turbo Ice discard. You're right. I actually talked to him after the event. He's a real nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
His name was he came out of Texas. Real swell guy.
Yep.
Anyway, unlike Noah, I didn't get any meme-tastic wins. Right,
Dude.
Mine were a little bit more grounded, and I shall tell it in the way of a samurai. Okay. So,
I love this.
Right.
I love it so much.
So I'm going to tell the story of the warrior poet, Mr. Matthews. So
wait,
I show up.
Before you do that, are you going to explain what you were wearing at the event? This is very important.
Done. All right. So
okay.
picture with me, fellas. Zeth in a full black suit with a gray undershirt and a blood red tie. Kuja's theme from Final Fantasy IX's playing from my pocket, and the reason I show up in a suit is so I can shake people's hands, well, metaphorically shake people's hands and go, "Hi, my name is Zeth. Welcome to Omaha. I'm going to bury you."
That's the Undertaker.
Dude, he told me that, and I was like, "That's so fucking smart. I wish I'd done this."
Yeah.
So the tale of Mr. Matthews, the Omaha Samurai. My first start was I went 0-2. So you know so you know of Ghosts of Tsushima when you fight like the first opening boss and he beats your fucking shit in.
Yeah.
So that was me. Oh god. 2 is me waking up in the river with a broken sword in my stomach and looking around with like the hazy vision. And after our lunch break, I look at Noah and I'm like, "Noah, it's not going to end like this." I'm not gonna like this. I will get 4-2. So I get myself out of the river, right? And using my sword as a crutch, I slowly walk, and I'm holding my side. I'm holding my guts in, right? And I'm going along. So match 1 was I faced off against Mono Lightning. It went 7-4. He built back row, and he had 2 1-cost Odins because of the 6-cost Odin, which broke Cyan and Tenzin. And at that point, it was over.
Yeah.
Is every point after that was I would play like another 3-drop, and then he'd play the 3-drop Odin, kill a 3-drop, play another 3-drop, 3-drop Odin, kill another 3-drop. And he played Alba, and when Alba's a 9k slowly eating away your targets for Tenzin, suddenly Tenzin doesn't feel very good anymore.
Yeah.
So I lost 7-4 there. Match 2 is I faced another samurai. It was the Mono Fire Samurai mirror match. And it was in that point we went to both 6 points of damage. I got to a Amaterasu Abraska triggering by proccing with a Roha to do it 2k damage. And then off backups, I Amaterasu'd it. It felt so good.
That's pretty hilarious, actually.
So what happened is that I opened up turn 1 Tenzin, right?
Mhm.
So he goes turn 1 Veritas. And I'm like, fuck.
Oh god.
Oh, it was awful.
Brutal.
What ended up happening is that I respected Veritas for too long, and I almost got soloed by Veritas to damage 5.
Oh god.
It happens.
Getting soloed by the Noble Hierarch.
His Noble Hierarch basically pushed my shit in until it. And then the worst part is that after he played Noble Hierarch, he played Broska's Final Aeon after it. Like he windmill slammed it. I'm like, fuck. So
God.
with Aroha, I Amaterasu'd away Veritas. I mean not Veritas, Broska's Final Aeon. And then I managed to get rid of Veritas with my 3-cost Ifrit. And I gave up like no, I played Cloud. So I played 3 copies of 2-cost Cloud because I wanted to fight X-Death, but I'm like, wait, Veritas is a Dark Forward. Dab.
Correct. Yeah.
So off of 4 backups, I paid 2 for Cloud, and then with my other 2 backups, I broke Cloud to kill his Veritas. And Cloud was my character I gave up to Veritas. I basically Alexandered Veritas in fire. It felt kind of good.
Very good.
It didn't matter because he played Tenzin and got 3 Tenzin procs, and finally he stuck the blade in me. He kicked me into the river. I started kind of like floating to the bottom. I end up on shore. My vision's kind of hazy. So back to where we're at now, where I'm using my sword as a crutch after my lunch break. I'm climbing up from the shoreline. I'm all sorts of screwed up. I got a black eye, ribs. I'm holding my guts in with my hand, and I'm walking along. And I look ahead, and I end up seeing it's a Chocobo player.
Gross. Oh no.
So what ends up happening?
That poor guy.
I drew my sword and went to combat. It was over pretty quick.
Yeah. I feel like that matchup's just like basically unwinnable for Chocobos.
Even with White Mage.
Yeah, like yikes. Feels bad, man.
Oh man, and so wait, no, it wasn't Chocobos. I apologize. I got it mixed up with someone. So I didn't play Chocobos. It was Ice Earth 7.
Ice Earth 7.
Oh shit, that was actually played?
Yeah, he played Genesis Avatar and Renault and stuff, right? So what happens? I turn 1 Tenzin against Ice Earth. Now Ice Earth, remember, as an archetype, slow as shit.
Yeah.
Right? Imagine the tankiest the tankiest MFer that you could imagine, but they move super slow. So what happened? I got him to damage 5 with Tenzin. I soloed with Tenzin, and I got Tenzin procs. And I had 5 cards in my hand with like 3 backups because I didn't have to play any more forwards. The man literally spent 3 turns playing backups, and so he played Aerith off backups, and off my backups I said Amaterasu, and Aerith kicked the fucking bin, right?
Uh-huh.
In a last ditch effort to kill my Cyan, my Tenzin, and my Aroha, and my Magisa and Forza, he plays Genesis Avatar, right?
Mm-hmm.
So give him a moment, and then while he still had priority, he made one mistake. He tyroed his Genesis Avatar, so that way Genesis Avatar would be able to do 6k to my board as opposed to just 5. Because when you boost Genesis Avatar's power, he then checks his power and goes, "Oh, now I'll deal half of it to my opponent's board."
Yeah.
I Ratsu'd it.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So he has this fat 9k that couldn't do anything. And
Correct.
Rough.
the worst part is that if he tried to devout his Renoa to board, then my forwards were big enough that the 5k sweep wouldn't kill them.
Oh, yikes.
And
Yeah.
the worst part is that you see the cold sweats and them shuffling their cards and looking at the break.
I
Yep.
remember that game. I like sat next to you that game. That was oh boy, dude,
Yeah.
that was something.
So like it's that samurai move, right? Where you do that definitive stroke, the Iatsu strike, and your opponent stands there with the sword in their hand, and there's that look of
Nani?
I-
So I gotta ask real quick for that deck. Did he do the Yazoo Kadaj Cloud combo at all?
Cloud. That was the problem.
Okay.
Well, the first problem is that if he saw Cloud, I was going to kill it. That's
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And the other issue is that with me having Cyan and Tenzin out turn 2, even if he played Cloud, Cloud would have got swept off the board
Yeah.
before.
Man, that's gross.
So I killed the Ice Earth 7 player. I put my sword back in the scabbard. I hobble along with my sword crutch with my 1-2 record, and I end up looking over, and at this point, I got some confidence in me, right? Because I finally got a win under my belt. I'm feeling pretty good. And the next match we were playing, it wasn't that deck. Give me a second. I'm trying. No. Oh, it was no. That was Status Real Estate. I've been through a lot of matches, so I'm trying to like figure out.
It's
Like-
it's been a fucking
Yeah, I
week.
played
Final
like
Fantasy.
30 over the course of this weekend, so bear with me for a second. All of it's kind of a blur, kind of like when you walk out from a river half dead.
Yeah.
So hobbling along, I get to my next opponent, and with my 1-2 record, what was it that they were go? Because it wasn't Mono Fire, and it definitely wasn't Samurai, because I lost all my Samurai mirror matches. I can tell you that much for sure.
Ooh, rough.
So I sit down, and they were playing like I'm trying to remember what it was. It wasn't Water Lightning, and so like I can't remember what my opponent was after the Ice Earth list. It'll probably come to me. But after I beat him, my next opponent, I sit down with him, and it was a new guy, right? Like he's only been playing like 3 months, and I see it's mono wind, right? So I'm like, oh crap, like it's like an actual serious deck, right? So I go like full on like combat mode, right? Little do I realize that it's a brand new player. And after I start getting like when he says, "Oh hey, I played someone else that played this deck," they whooped me really hard with it. I'm like, oh,
Oh no. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
as he's saying that, I was playing Cyan. I'm like, funny how this works.
Oh no.
and then in a last ditch effort, he played and I already had 3 backups out. He played Neos X Death. I'm like, cool, Cloud.
God.
He's like, "Yep, that's how I lost my last match too." And I'm like,
Oh,
"All right."
God. That's the
Poor
dude.
I did him dirty. It was so bad. I felt it felt awful, but at the same time, he was a good sport about it. I liked the guy. We elbow bumped afterward. It was a grand old time. So we get to my final match. Right, I'm 3-3. I'm at this point I'm 3-2. If I can win this, I go 4-2, and there's a potential I top 8. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the Samurai Mirror match, but it's Earth Fire Samurai versus Mono Fire Samurai. Now,
Mm-hmm.
myself always wanted to play Earthfire Samurai because Star Sibyl can find Tenzin, and Star Sibyl can free deploy Tenzin.
Oh God. That's disgusting.
pretty good.
Yeah, but here's the problem: is that as I noticed in Earthfire, you whiff a lot of Samurai because you don't play as many Samurai. Because guess what? You're Earthfire. You're not Mono Fire.
Yeah.
So basically, what happens is that he turned 1 Tenzin because he's on the play, and he whiffed 3 Tenzin triggers.
Oh, gross.
So he turned 1 Tenzins, right? I look at him, I start laughing a little bit, and him and I have a bit of rapport. He goes, "What's funny?" And what I say to him is, I go, "Anything you can do, I can do better." I open up with Cyan. I can do anything better than you, and I played Tenzin after it.
Oh my
What
God.
a jerk.
I went and I got top 5. I'm like, "Oh look, a samurai. Not that you can find one."
God.
Jesus! Seth, that's what got you killed!
The
Oh, that's
PM.
what got you killed!
Wait, did you
God looked
notice
down on him.
this?
He goes,
So I
No!
get him to damage 5, right? He got a Terror EX burst and he got a Kusith EX burst. And at this point, I have Tenzin, I have Aroha, and I have Cyan. My board is set. I can sweep any of his bastards that enter the field. I then see it. The Golden Blade. The ever so sharp in the Star Sibyl hilt. The one that breaks the heavens and resets the game states. The ever legendary Blade of Shantoto.
Yup.
Fuck yeah. That's where he comes back with Earth, dude.
Yup.
So he empties his hand to play Sybil into Shantoto because you got to realize that my opening hand, I drew all 3 Ratsus,
Yeah.
so I could play them. I had to
Yeah.
play ends and actually advance the game state. So what ends up happening is the Blade of Shantoto strikes upon my shoulder, and my world goes white for a brief second. I come to. I'm not dead yet. What's this? I'm on damage 5? We're still playing this game out? Oh, hell. I get up. Everything's really shaky, right? World's kind of all over the place. Is that my small intestine over there? And so I play Terror from hand, and I actually managed to pick up my Ifrit, and I kill off his Cyan, right? It's at this point he free plays off his Star Sibyl Tenzin. Oh, it was awful. Seeing a man on 4 backups and a free played Tenzin, you start to question your life choices.
He's
Seems like it.
God. You're.
Go ahead, Travis.
I'm sure your opponent was like. So you were like, yeah, I can do anything better than you, and then later on in the game, they're like, are you sure about that? And it's the
Are you
John
sure
Cena
about
meme. As he
And
wipes your
so-
board with Shantoto.
Yeah, so remember those early game samurai triggers he missed? The 3 of them?
He starts hitting them all, doesn't he?
Yep.
He got the 3 mid-end game samurai triggers.
Yep.
So we both get to damage 6, right? Because I managed to cheek in a point of damage with one of my hasted samurai. So we're both on 6. He kills off my Terra, and he looks over at me, and I look over at him, and as a samurai to another, I bow to him, and I get to my knees, and I place my blade across my lap. I tell him to finish me. And I was taken down by a true and honorable samurai. And then I got
Fuck, dude. What
God.
was that last part?
So at the end of the match, he said, that was a really close match. I normally don't do this for anyone. So he goes into his folder, right? and he slides a card over to me. He goes, "Thank you for the match." I flip it over until Full Art Tenzin.
Holy shit!
Oh my god! Your opponent is an actual legend.
Dude, what the
Holy!
fuck? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You had him sign the sleeve, didn't you?
Yeah, he signed it the Electric Jellyfish. So if any of you guys know Retro Reanimated on Discord, that's who I fought. And
That's
he's the-
actually so
and
cool.
and he was the one that got in the top 2 versus Okamoto. Was Earthfire Samurai versus Storm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout outs to him. Really taking the hey man, dual color might be better than monocolored advice to heart. Because you get so many more options, and like the logic behind his list makes so much sense to me.
Yep. But the fact that we both went 6-6, like true honest samurai, I looked him in the eye and I'm like, go ahead, finish me.
Man.
I've reached the end of. I've reached the crossroads. I am ready to die.
Yeah. That's
And
glorious.
Like a true samurai, I broke even 50-50.
Yeah.
And all in all, I'm really impressed that there wasn't any because Travis, you don't know about the Earth Water Neos XF list, do you? I talked to you about it a little bit.
Not particularly, no.
So basically, Byron, hear me out. So what if I told
Alright.
you what if I told you, Byron, that I can consistently find a turn 1 Neos X Death and you can't kill him turn 1?
What do you mean?
So
Hey, look, he's already taken.
here's how it goes, right? We play Earth Water, so I play Sildra to go find Neos X Death, and then I
Yep.
play him, and I have 2 cards left in hand.
Yep.
So you're thinking, okay, cool. I'm just gonna Alexander Neos X Death because that means I plus, right? I discard for 2 Earth CP. Hey Byron, what's a 2 CP Earth summon that says choose this forward, duel it, it can't be broken this turn?
Fucking Titan.
The 2 CP Titan. Oh my
Fucking
god.
Titan.
Hey,
Oh my god.
Wait.
Tra-
So
hey Travis, because it's turn 1, you played a backup. Sacrifice that backup for targeting my Neos X Death, you dirty, dirty person.
Oh my god.
How-
That's so
see,
brutal.
How dare you? How dare you think that you could touch the great Lord X Death? How dare you? You had the audacity. You had the gall to touch the Lord X Death.
That's gross.
you just fanford him away.
Well, even if you do that, they miss Dragon.
Yeah.
They will over
Okay, you don't have enough CP for that shit.
if you hit X Death and say go, you do.
Yeah. On the draw, if you just XF and say go, you have enough.
Byron,
Disbelief.
Here's like not impressed. Or hey, Byron, here's the other problem is that I played Gabranth to find X Death. I'll just get rid of Gabranth. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
True.
man.
So and here's a fun one. Here's a fun one. Travis. Hey, try killing a turn 1 Zidane behind a protected Titan.
Oh, gross. Gross. That Zidane is going the distance. The
Hey.
entire distance.
Hey, Travis, you tried to kill him and I tightened him. Turn 2, I played Gilgamesh 11. Go.
Oh, gross.
So the list, the cancer list that I thought was going to show up at Reunion didn't, and I'm really happy for it. Basically it's turn 1 plays where either turn 1 Zidane, turn 1 Gilgamesh 11, or turn 1 X Death, and then from then on it's whatever you try to target, I tighten, and then you lose because you're so far behind. And you know it's here's another fun response for you, Byron. You say Famfrit, right? In response, I pay 2 Earth CP and I play Scar Monleone back attack and sacrifice.
Oh.
Oh, that card.
They thought of
Oh my god.
Isn't it great? Isn't Final Fantasy great, guys? When Opus
A
3
beautiful
cards
game.
back.
God, that's funny. That's really hilarious, actually.
But yeah,
So-
no, Travis, like playing against that deck, like you like even the write up that I found on the deck, it's like this deck's so obnoxious, like it's so one dimensional, but also at the same time, like it's annoying because you have to deal with it.
Yeah.
You can't even play Final Fantasy.
God, it's actually just like playing stacks. You just sit on your smokestack and protect it, and
Yeah,
they
that's
can't do anything about it.
Yeah, that's what sucked. And what's even worse is that there was a meme version of that deck that was supposed to show up at reunion. Hey Travis, try facing Neos X Death with 43 EX bursts.
Oh God, you damaged me.
That sounds horrible.
Ego plus.
Or
God.
Boy.
what's even worse is that you play Samurais and you attack it with Tenzin with no fear, and they rob on with X Death.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, no, it felt bad. It actually felt bad.
That's
So
God. Now I want to play that deck. That sounds hilarious. Holy.
So what I can tell you from experience with that deck, Travis, is that if it's a mill strategy where like they Lonnie you a couple of times, then that's when how you lose. But if it's
Yeah.
like it's like a person that doesn't catch on to your strategy right away, i.e., someone that's not like myself or Noah that I've told about this deck, then it catches most people and they lose the game because they eat a Famfrit or they eat a Titan or they eat
Yeah.
Yojimbo.
Yeah.
Like
Gross.
it's awful.
That's actually gross.
But yeah,
So
thankfully that deck wasn't there. But like the meta was really diverse at reunion. Like that's what I have to really give props to. In top 8, there was only 2 samurai lists that were there, and that was Earthfire Samurais and then Monofire Samurais.
hey,
Because
I just
What's
want to
that?
give a quick shout out because Shantoto is the golden blade that essentially led to your downfall.
It really
Um,
was.
I watched Shane's match in top 4. He was playing his 9 Freya Dragoons, and that man, I think, if I'm correct, got Shantoto'd at least twice and kept going.
Well, here's the thing: is that so the reason Dragoons carried Shane so far is the backup Alice. Backup Alice is Tenzin, 4
All 3.
Dragoons, draw 3 cards every
Yeah.
turn. And then when it comes to the kill turn, you Alice their 1 defender, and then you dole it with Crow, and then you just go in.
Yeah.
Stinian.
And then you double Cherry Blossom Freya, and then you just don't give a fuck.
No, you don't. It's the funniest thing ever that
So,
I've seen.
yeah,
The deck's super
remember
consistent.
how Samurais took a turn to set up, Travis? Imagine if Samurais could just do it right away without the
Yeah.
help of.
Yeah.
But we're we're gonna
What Dragoons did.
cut to a fun ad break here in a second. Any final thoughts? Any questions you guys want to ask? Because we're gonna move straight off a reunion.
So it's kind of nice to see that it was somewhat diverse. Do you guys think that that'll be a trend to any future events? Like let's say we actually do Crystal Cups and the L3 format, or not L3 format,
Reunion format.
the LQs,
Oh,
local
LQ.
qualifiers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
local
like do you
qualifiers.
guys think that'll still be like a trend?
Yeah. So Noah, you can go first.
As in like just the diversity of it, or
Yeah. So like, do you guys think that what you saw at this tournament is kind of gonna trickle over to other bigger tournaments if we do end up having them?
so I think that from I mean I'm this is my general speculation because I haven't been in Final Fantasy's like actual competitive scene for too long, but I wanna just give my opinion because I can whatever you want to take of it. That the top 8 decks are for sure going to be decks that you're going to see a lot more often, just
Mhm.
because they seem to be the ones that top. They're the most consistent decks that you can play. So Storm's probably going to show up. People are going to probably try and deal with that. You're going to have Dragoons probably show up with the way Shane was fucking playing. The shit's insane.
Oh yeah,
You're going to
especially
have
since
Samurai for sure.
build under $20.
Yeah, and it's insane because you just pick up 9 Freyas and you're the cheap Dragoons in your deck's essentially there.
What a budget deck!
Yeah.
But I think those 3 decks for sure are gonna be seen at least with 2 to 3 people, depending on the size of the tournament. Probably more, obviously. And then you'll probably have a few people that are playing the counters to those specifically, and then you'll have people like my ass who play the random fucking shit that gets them to break even because it's funny. Like
Yeah.
Turks was a meme dream to me because I like the Turks in FF7 and it did its job.
All right. So, what I can tell you with confidence, Byron, and I mean this with great confidence, I think the era of top 8 being 3 wire P decks, 2 Rampier decks, a mono fire, and then like the rogue list deck, I think that era is over.
Yeah.
Really do think that the era of being able to approach with different deck archetypes, I think is the new norm now. Is there still going to be Earth, Water, Turbo X Death? Absolutely. Is it going to eventually see its way into a couple of tournaments? It's already shown up as like the 4th, 3rd place winner in 3 major tournaments. Is Samurai still going to be incredibly prevalent? Absolutely, because again, Samurais you can get together for about $50 because and Tenzin is probably the most expensive card in it, and Tenzin is about $8 right now, and that's because it's dumped. Like prior to Reunion, Tenzin was like $1.
Yeah.
And then like Noah mentioned, I did the math for like the Dragoon deck. The only legends that are in it are Aranea, and that's basically she's like your one major legend in it. Everything else is like a dollar hero, or it's a Freya that's a common or a rare.
Easy claps.
Oh, Astinian, the 5-drop Astinian. Like Shane played it because he had one. You don't even really need Astinian. You can replace it with just any generic Dragoon.
Honestly, it's a free CP, and if you really need it, Estinian claps the game as well. Like,
So
Yeah.
Good.
I know I didn't actually go to the event itself, but the way I see it, I don't think I know that we kind of have what like is shaping up to be a meta, but I don't think that this is going to be completely representative of like what's actually going to show up. I think that in a little bit people are going to like completely solve the format and we're going to see a deck that's just the degenerate that stands on top of everything else, because I think Samurais are good, but I think they're a generic value mid-range deck, and I don't think they're doing broken things necessarily. Like they are degenerate.
It is the most top-end mid-range deck. I can tell you right now, Samurais is very honest. You know what it's doing.
Yep.
I don't know. For some reason, like I know we discussed Infinites, and I know we've talked about like Renoa plus Regis plus like a Thief or Lonnie or whatever, and you just kind of mill your opponent out or whatever. I definitely think that just Regis in and of itself can probably lead to whatever. This is my like big fucking small brain opinion. I think Regis is a key to it.
I mean, I think like effects that are printed like Regis and worded like Regis tend to just like warp things around them because those effects tend to just like be broken, right? So like having
Good. Do a try.
having effects that let you sack your board for free with reckless abandon and having like few actual counters to them tend to warp things around the things that are like letting you sack your board for free with reckless abandon, right? Yeah. And that's what Regis does. He lets you sack your board not only just with reckless abandon, but for value. Like when you sack your board with Regis, you're getting so much value because they have to trade into your stuff. They have to choose whether to block or not block and play around Regis. And even if they do, then you just got in like 2 points of free damage. Like who cares?
Right. So here's my thing. Here's why I don't think the Regis Infinite meta is really ever going to see like a high point. It'll have fringe play, but it won't see a high point, and here's why. So in order for this to work, you need to be able to grab both of your Renoas out of the break zone. Think of all the ways that we have to specifically remove things from the game, such as the 2-drop White Mage for 1 CP that can do it. There's also Mist Dragon that interacts with it. Amaterasu at any point during that game, the combo's over. Like, you don't even have to worry about it anymore. Even if they Royal Sigil it, you canceled it. You don't care. You stopped it from happening, and that's all that really matters, right? And so, like, this infinite combo, like, the only way it can work is if you Zidane the turn beforehand, and you have to Paradise, right? You have to, like, be in a really secure environment to ensure that this gets off. And you haven't seen it, Travis, but when you're staring down 4 forwards from Water Lightning and you're on 6 points of damage because of how fast they pressured you, and they still have a full grip of cards, it sucks. It really sucks.
So my thing about it is, I think Noah's idea of this Regis Infinite is like it's not my idea of what the deck should be.
No.
I think
So it's not my idea. It's just an infinite that exists. I'm
So-
not saying that's the look.
I
just
think-
Regis is a key.
I think what the concept should be is your deck should just be a control-y value deck that has the Regis Infinite as an option.
See,
Because
yeah,
at a surface level, Regis is an insane card. Like, if you have, like, you saw the list I was playing with Regis, where I can just sack Avon and sack some other stuff to Kefka, and then bring 2 of my board back and dole freeze your stuff, make you discard a card, do whatever else I want, after I just, like, broke your entire board for free, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
So that's what I think the deck should be. And then you just have the infinite pieces in the deck anyways, because they're all good on their own. Because, like, Lonnie's good on her own. Renoa's good on her own, really. Well, not technically on her own, but she's good in your deck anyways. And so is Regis. Like, all of those cards are just good cards.
All right. So hear me out, boys. Hear me out. This is a Zeth Crackhead brew, right? This is like a 10-second brew. So you play Nyx. Nyx loses himself, you kill a forward. Gilgamesh loses himself, you kill a forward.
Mm-hmm.
You then have Wind Splashed in your deck, so that way you play Ashra to activate all your backups, right?
Mm-hmm.
You then Star Sibyl and Regis, you get back the Gilgamesh and the Nyx. Nyx kills another forward, and then Gilgamesh, if you want, can kill another forward.
Yeah.
So I've activated my back row. I've broken 4 forwards for the cost of 2 forwards.
Yeah.
And I still built a forward on top of it.
Yeah.
And then, remember, Selkie can grab an ice or a fire card next turn off of Tyro. Just play Renoa, and you're able to get it off in that same turn.
Yeah. That's
And
why
then
I
you
think that
yeah,
Regis
go.
is just like an insane value card. Like, you can build the infinite, like, or the deck with the infinite in mind, but that
Mhm.
should not be the main concept of your deck, because you can win without the infinite by just completely outvaluing your opponent.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Makes sense. All right, ad break.
Yeah.
I think so.
Hooray.
Hello, and welcome to the ads. To you by Cards Custom Builds. Are you into cosplay? Are you looking to get into cosplay? Well, then Cards Custom Builds is here to help. Cards Custom Builds creates everything from cosplay accessories like props, trinkets, and weaponry, all the way to full costumes. Their work is guaranteed to make you the talk of the con. So, head over to Cards Custom Builds either on their Facebook or their Etsy account. The link will be down in the description down below. And make sure you mention TCG University to get 5% off your entire order. I've seen a lot of Clay's costumes that he's made. I forgot the word even though I've said it 20 times. They're all very, very cool. It's really awesome work, and Clay's a real cool guy. It's Tam's dad, and you should really go check it out. If you want to get into cosplay when this entire pandemic is over, that is an excellent place to start. This episode is also brought to you by Dex Protections. Dex Protections is our never-ending pursuit to create the highest quality storage and protection accessories. Their design and innovation comes from die-hard gamers and collectors just like you, so they know what you want in the products that you buy. They are constantly taking in feedback from their customers. then they have no plans to stop their innovations or their drive to refine their products until they are recognized as the leader in the industry. I can't read very well. They make a terrific product, all with the avid gamer and collector in mind, so go ahead and check them out. Link will be out in the description down below. They make cool stuff, and when we can finally go out again, you're gonna want to snazz up all your cards that you're going to be bringing with some cool new boxes and stuff. So please go check them out. Dex Protections, link is in the description down below. And lastly, I would like to talk with you about Red Right Games. They're a Canada-based online seller of MTG, Pokemon, and Universes cards. They are friends of the show. Great guys. We like them a whole lot. And if you go to redrightgames.ca, you can use our creator code TCGU when you check out, and you can help support the show. So please, if you want to get some new cards for the new year and get ready for all the fun tournaments that you're going to go to, please go to redrightgames.com or redrightgames.ca. They're in Canada and they're not in the US, so it's not .com. And please buy from them. It would mean a whole lot to us. Thank you, and back to the show.
Is Tyler still on? Oh, there he is.
How we doing, Tyler?
Gotcha.
Probably got enough time for one more topic. So we got our.
Yeah.
I think we kind of hit meta predictions versus expectations in the same process. So
Yeah.
I think we just do
Yeah.
paradigm shift.
Let's plot that one out. We can go to Byron's Paradigm Shift
Yep.
and finish it out with spoilers.
Seems good.
Yep. Okay.
Hey,
Okey-dokey.
all right, and 3, 2, 1. Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed the ad break. We know.
Yeah, shout outs to those guys.
So we're assuming that one of them is just going to superimpose their face on top of Tam's.
Yeah.
Hopefully get
Tyler.
some lip flap movements. So that's what we're hoping. We hope you enjoy the ad break.
Yeah.
Next topic. I can't put this one into words because I'm bad at that. I'm just the host, right? So paradigm shift. Byron or Zeth, one of you guys take it away.
Damn, doesn't even.
We can kind of
me.
tag team this fast.
I mean, if you want to go in there too, Travis, but they offered up the topic.
I mean, I was just going to say, like, the concept of paradigm shifting is like, just imagine that you have a sword, right? To use that samurai analogy, you have a sword and you swing your sword at things all day, every day. Eventually, your sword gets dull, right? So now you have to make a choice. You either have to sharpen your sword, or you have to get a new sword. When you want,
Or Travis, why not? Why a sword? Why not a spear or an axe?
I mean, it could be anything.
What are you, fucking spearist? Like what the shit, dude?
Any sharp weapon
A hatchet.
that needs to be that gets dull basically works. You either need to change it out for a new sword, or you need to sharpen your sword. And in the case that you want to change your sword, is it better to do so, or is it better to sharpen your sword? I think that's what we're trying to get to with this topic.
Right.
But here's the
because-
thing with that though, really quick. So you can only sharpen your sword so many times, right? And like it's better to. Okay, so like for me personally, I got so hyper focused on playing one certain deck until I did well enough with it that I was happy enough not playing that deck again. But in the process of doing that, then I don't really polish my other skills, I guess, in a card game,
Mhm.
right? So like you
Yeah.
kind of like become in this vacuum of just one thing and not really playing much else and not knowing what else is out there. Like obviously you do get play experience by playing other decks and you kind of understand how other decks work, but it's not the same as actually trying a different deck.
Exactly. Yeah, because like you're coming in from mono water and mono fire, right?
Yeah.
So basically, like the way that I'm seeing it is that you're basically playing swords that have kind of like the same mentality You understand the
Mhm.
weight of them. You've swung them around more times than you would possibly even be able to count. Like, you don't even have to look when you put it away, right? However,
Yeah.
you are now recognizing that someone came up to you and they kicked you. They didn't use a sword. This person man mode ran up to you and kicked you in the chest. And you didn't know how to fight someone unarmed because they kicked your sword away. So now you're having to learn, okay, how do I fist fight?
Yeah.
But
Fucking
yeah,
Essentially.
like
God.
but yeah, to kind of go along with that, so I guess what I'm trying to get from this then, Byron, is that is there a particular archetype that you're like looking to get back into? Is there an element that you wanted to try? Like, do you want me to sell you on an element? Because
Not
I can sell the element.
it's not necessarily that. Like it's just more of the fact I guess that like god dang it, my cat. Stop. Stop. Um it's just like can't think right now.
You got this. I believe in
One
you.
sec. I got this. Okay. So I'm gonna go back to like kind of Yu-Gi-Oh, right?
Yeah.
So I played that was like my first actual card game. So
Mm-hmm.
I played this deck Gravekeepers, right? And
Oh,
I
great.
Hey.
I yeah, I stuck with that deck until I actually topped with it. But I was in the mentality of I only know how to kind of like play helmet decks in Yu-Gi-Oh, where you don't really have to do
Yeah.
much thinking of like combos and all that stuff. And
Yeah.
then
Well,
once I
Val, it kept you safe.
Yeah,
yeah,
the helmet keeps
like
you safe.
exactly, yeah. So like, once I got away from that, then I actually kind of like explored other kind of decks. Like I actually played a combo deck, which was Mermails. Um,
I love Merc.
and I got to like kind of like grow as a player.
Okay.
So so it's just like learning or wanting to be able to adapt. I guess is the thing.
Okay.
Not being so stuck in such a mentality, and it's not necessarily that I'm trying to like switch decks or anything. I'm still gonna play the same decks that I play right now for Final Fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just kind of like trying to talk about it, like is it's okay for people to play a deck, that inside and out, and then it's okay for you to change from that deck for a little bit too, just because then you end up growing as a player and you kind of understand other mechanics and um like I said, it's not the same playing against a deck as it is actually playing the deck itself,
Yeah. Well,
because you
another
learn
thing
more
too.
that way.
Yeah. Another thing also to think about with that also is that like you and I, Byron, we play mono water differently,
Yeah,
right?
we do.
And like, and another part of that also is like giving that sword over to someone else, like the same sword, and seeing what they do with it. Because from that, you can then see if there's a different way that you can approach it or build another, like, something else from it. So Noah can attest to this for me is that I have this syndrome. I don't really know what to put on it, right? I come up with a deck idea, right? I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make this new weapon, right? It's gonna be super cool. I know what I'm gonna put into it. I know what the composition's gonna be like. But then like I get the cast together, right? And I start putting the mold in. Oh well, it breaks against this, or like this completely catches it, or like this completely stops it. Why are you building this? And it's like, oh, I don't want this mold anymore because I literally think myself out of not playing the deck.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that like an example of this, like I was talking to Noah about at the card shop was Earthwind Aggro. Because we have the new Stola that has haste. We still have Adele. We have the starter Kane from Opus 10. We have the Chocobos from Category 7. You have the Chocobo that gives forwards haste. You have the 5-cost fat Chocobo to grab them from your deck, or worst case scenario, grab the Chocobo backup. And then on top of that, still, you have Kusith and a lot of the cheap Earth cards like Titan to keep your forwards safe from damage and from straight breaks, right? And then eventually your opponent can't handle all your forwards because they either walk underneath them because they can't be blocked, or they don't take any damage except for battle damage. The
Yeah.
problem that like the reason that I walked myself out of like building that deck is because I have like the 25, 30 cards filled in, and then there's just kind of this like nebulous 20 card void on how else I'm gonna build the deck. And then I throw it out because like I'm the type of person that, like, I'm really good at using a sword. I can't build one to save my life though.
Yeah.
I think so. I've come up with that issue a lot when deck building, and obviously you have the mold, you have the outline, and like the cast and all that. I guess the issue, like you said, you have like 20 plus cards that you just don't know what to do with, right? Just a void of whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like when it comes up to that, I do my best to figure out staples or figure out the things that can like break the deck, and you try to grab cards that are all encompassing because you don't want specific tech pieces because then they're useless when you don't have that matchup. You want things that can kind of hit everything.
Yeah.
Like for
Mhm.
instance, with Turks, Amaterasu fucks me up. I play
Yeah,
Lael,
of course.
and Lael hits just about any summon that can fuck my deck up.
Yeah.
So you just
Yeah.
you gotta find the pieces that fit well in your deck, but don't overdo their welcome.
I think another thing that comes also to it is build it. Even
Yeah.
if like the first sword, it's not going to be a perfect sword. We can't all make Masamune. Like that's the thing is like I'm not gonna be able to make like the reverse mirror edge sword the first time I make it. Right?
Hmm.
It comes down to, all right, I had a good idea here. Where can I sharpen it? And that's what Reunion really helped me with, right? Is I ran into some really good deck builders that are fully willing to actually like help me brew decks together. And unlike my locals that'll tell me like, yeah, no, it's a it's a good deck, Zeth. You really shouldn't change too much about it. These are people that'll be able to tell me straight to my face, hey, Zeth, it's crap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because like they don't have that any sort of attachment to you where it's like I don't want to see this guy and him be bummed out and shit. They'll just be like, I'll fucking see him on a later date. Who cares? Your deck's shit. And I'm like,
Yeah, like they'll be able to tell you like, Zeth, it's crap, and here's why. This is why it's not going to hold water.
yeah, I put those 4-drop Erits into my Mako deck. By the way, the
Mhm.
Mako deck is just Win Earth 7.
Right.
And I put 4-drop Wind Aerith in because I was like, well, she's kind of good. She keeps my dudes from receiving 2k, or she makes them receive 2k less. I can restand shit if I need to. And like if need be, I can say that a dude can't be targeted. Well, all that sucks dick when Lael is there, and I can just play 4 CP Aerith and pick all my fucking shit back up anyways. The light Aerith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it just I put that in my deck along with the fact that I'm running Blade Beam Cloud, and even though and like Cosmos to be sure if I ever need to I can play both of them, and it functions. Being able to like play Aerith and if I need to once the 2 CP Cloud's been used up, break him for 3 CP Cloud and be like, hey, 7k that dude.
But to bring it back around to you, Byron, the piece that I can give for it is like, and I'm telling you this because this is like for your growth and for your experience. Build another deck. Like that's literally the only other thing that I can tell you, man, is you have to build something else. I love Mono Water. I love Mono Fire. You play them very well. But until you take the like me, you get over the fear and take the plunge and go, okay, this is the new deck that I'm gonna play. This is where you're gonna be stuck at, dude.
I know, I totally get it.
Until
So
you
like
yeah. Until you
like
change your
I don't have like a problem with. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying that until you paradigm shift, your team's gonna get wiped and you're not gonna be able to finish the game.
I feel that.
Yeah, like more like so. It's not necessarily that like I don't like changing decks that much, but like I'm more comfortable with it now than I was before when I was a Yu-Gi-Oh player. Like now I don't really care if I like go change a deck. Like I have other decks built that are not mono water, mono fire. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I play those decks, But like I guess so the reason why this like kind of like popped in my head was that Noah said in our chat said that I think I'm gonna retire the Turks after this tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know, like does it do you wish that you could have like topped in a big tournament with them before like you retired them?
Personally, yes, but from my experience, I think I played that deck to the fullest I can at the moment.
Yeah.
So
I
here,
think it can get me there, but like
you,
it's wait, sorry, you kept cutting out.
what I was gonna say is you can finish now. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think I played Turks as far as I can currently, and I built them as best as I possibly can. With the current way
Mhm.
the meta is, if I don't see specific pieces, I don't get there, and it's consistent, but it's not consistent enough to keep me going higher and higher. Not at this moment. I honestly think,
Yeah.
swear to God, if they put a Sung in, that Sung will just I don't even care what his abilities are. Sung probably just makes the deck a bit better, in my opinion. Just because you have an extra search target instead of pitching all my roots, and I can save them for the special if need be and shit like that.
Right. So the way that I see it, Byron, is that from what I'm hearing at this is that like you mentioned that okay, if this deck tops, then I can put then I'm satisfied. That is where your
Mhm.
satisfaction is. Am I
Yeah.
understanding that right? So the way so what I've come and this is for a personal growth moment for me as a player, I've recognized that there's decks I'm not going to top with. It's nothing against the deck,
Mm.
it's nothing against the skill of me as a player. It's whether it's due to the meta or that my opponent's skill level is better than mine. Like cuz
Yeah.
you could that's what it came down like me playing samurais. I was playing the de facto mid-range deck. Like I was playing the most vanilla mid-range mono fire samurai list with Magisa support that you can imagine, right? And the common
Mhm.
critique that I got from the other samurai players is that I don't play Magisa because she's too high variance. So that little 3
Mhm.
to 5% that I choose to set I chose to sacrifice to play Magisa has had a little enough of a noticeable impact to change whether I top with the deck or not. What I've come to acknowledge with the deck is that it basically comes down to have I gotten enough like experience to say I've mastered the deck? Because the way I approach it, it's like a job in Final Fantasy V, right? Or a job in Final Fantasy 14. I put
Yeah.
enough experience in this job, I've mastered it. Like Samurais, I could say that I've mastered it. Basically, it's turn 1, play
Mhm.
Tenzin, turn 2, pick up Cyan, turn 3, Cyan, Aroha. Did I win the game? Cool. All right, I've mastered the deck. Time to move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The same will go with my
Makes
the
sense.
same will go with my Earthwind aggro deck. Turn 1, I get down Fat Chocobo and it grabs me one of my Haste Chocobos. Awesome. Fantastic. Turn 2, Y'shtola, back up. Have I got my opponent to 4 damage yet? Cool. Mastered the deck. Time to move on.
Yeah.
Like it's for me it's more setting milestones for my decks. And if I can reach milestone 65% of the time, the deck's mastered.
Yeah.
Travis, your input.
So in regards to the topping with the deck and then retiring it thing, I can't ever retire a deck after doing something like that because it's I don't want to say it's not a considerable achievement because it is. There are just too many variables. Because realistically, like at the end of the day, regardless of how good your deck actually is, you can top through a multitude of variables, right? So I consider so there's like a good analogy I've been thinking of for a little bit. Is like you can only sharpen your sword a finite number of times, but you can sharpen your mind infinitely. So you can always get better with like game mechanics and knowing matchups and all that other stuff. But there are times when like you try to go above a deck skill ceiling and the deck won't let you because the deck just has a set ceiling, right?
It basically the weapon itself is holding you back.
Correct.
Okay.
So that's my thing about it, and like I think a better benchmark for when you should retire a deck is when you feel like you know the ins and outs of the deck and you know the every matchup with the deck, so you could have someone set up 5 decks and you'd be confident with playing against any one of them, right?
Mhm.
So
I
that's where I think your benchmark should be. If you're playing like any card game, honestly, I think that goes for just all of
Yeah.
them.
I like that.
I'll take that in consideration. That seems to
Yeah.
work real well with mine. Now I gotta find something new.
Yep.
I
The
like it.
Wandering
Also,
Samurai must find a new sword.
I mean,
That's true.
at this point, like I said, I think I've done the best I can with Turks. I don't think that deck's gonna go any further as it is.
So,
So I
and,
gotta find
like,
something else that grabs my attention.
Yep.
But like,
Yep.
oh sorry, I gotta grab something else that finds my attention. The only issue is I'm a little bitch and I don't like playing decks that everybody else plays, which is why I played Turks for so fucking long.
and you know what? And Noah, that's okay. You're gonna find your reverse katana, so you can reverse hand weave style it. Even though you're holding the katana normally reverse, you'll be fine. You'll find it.
Yeah.
You'll
It's
you'll
gonna
find
take a
it.
while, but you'll
Yeah.
find it.
Yeah.
Just gotta, I mean, was the one, so now we just gotta find something similar, which is what I'm going through right now. Like that's why I have all these different fucking stupid ideas in my head.
Yeah, and you know what? And I think that's the other thing that we have to realize too is that not everything has to be a sword. Like it's okay to like go pick up a stick and have fun with the stick for a little while.
Yeah.
I'm gonna poke you with
Hey
a
man,
stick.
when we were kids, what did we do? We used
Yeah,
sticks.
you play-
Travis, I don't know what you use,
Yeah.
pixie dust, whatever the fuck, but
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
you know, it doesn't have to be like a bladed weapon. Like you can just have fun with a stick for a little while, and that's what Noah's doing. Is he's finding the cool sticks and he's playing around with them.
Hey
And
man.
like
you think I'm making shit memes, dude? I want to play Princess Knights. Like, come on,
Some-
somebody stop
some-
me.
Sometimes you have to pull out the 1-inch punches and bring them back to reality.
I'm always in reality, and the issue is when those punches hit, they don't stay long. But yeah, I think we killed the fuck out of this shit.
Yeah, I think
I don't know
I
if
think
there's anything else we can push up there.
I think people can look at this topic and be like, man, this is one of the best topics they've ever done. Like I love this topic actually.
I mean, we can always, if need be, go more in depth, but I think we kind of just hashed.
Yeah,
the rest of it.
I think we killed this one, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Next,
Thank you for to the table, Byron. This was a good topic.
Yeah,
dude, I
for sure.
love you. You do such great work here that nobody ever notices except for me, Zeth, and Travis. And Travis.
So
Travis-
everyone, gotcha.
Travis?
Who does the better reports
Free.
through? Me.
I think Ravis is cooler than Travis. Changed my mind.
I can't.
Um,
can't.
moving on,
Alternate me cannot change your mind either.
So unless I'm a dumb blind baby boy, we're also doing a little bit of preview speculation and guessing to the Opus 13 cards.
Yeah, I was not able to find the spoilers for some reason.
So
So there's
We're in the post show now?
samples and there's cards
Yeah, we're
without
in the post.
text. But oh wait, are we moving to post? Sorry.
I mean, yeah, we just finished.
Let's move to post real quick. Thanks for watching, guys. I
Hello,
like
we-
jumped like 7 times ahead. It's fine.
It's okay. Thanks everybody for
very-
watching. We appreciate all of your viewership and whatnot. All that stuff.
Travis is below me, which is why I'm pointing down. Hey,
Bye.
don't forget to leave a
Yeah.
like, comment, subscribe. Please comment. I don't even care what the comment is. You can be like, I like potatoes. I'll be like, dude, same.
Dude,
You can be like,
Dude,
hashtag
potatoes are the
more rabbit.
bomb.
Potatoes are the bomb. You turn them into fries, you mash them, baking them, fuck that shit. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy.
Oh, that people.
we plan to make more content for you guys later. Hopefully we'll all be in person. Hopefully we'll get games going and shit. So stay tuned.
sayonara.
Bye, homies.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.